Hello, everyone. It's Melissa again. And I was thinking the other day about all these people who are losing their jobs through one form or another, whether it be AI or um, just moving on to something else, or maybe just flat out business closures. Uh, and I thought, when I first started my career, as it were, in telecommunications way back in the late 80s, I really loved my job. I thought I was going to stay there and retire there, whenever I turned to be a ripe old age of whatever I am now. Uh, my intent was never to leave, just always stay there. Well, I stayed at that particular company for several years, and then the opportunity came up to transfer and an advancement. I was in the IT at that point. I wound up in the IT department, and I decided, heck yeah! So I'm all for moving on up money wise. I didn't want management and all that kind of thing. So I moved, and I really enjoyed the job that I had. I enjoyed my coworkers, my boss. Everything was hunky dory. Well, I wound up there probably, I think it was like around 9 years, if I remember correctly. And I was in already 60. I had just turned 60. And I thought, man, I've got like 6 more years to do all this, And of course, in IT, what I was doing, I was an analyst, and it was getting a little harder every year because as services came on, we of course had started internet, and digital was a big thing, come and gone, moved on to a different platform. And as an analyst, I had to kind of keep up with all that stuff. Well, I was doing good until it started getting harder and harder, and of course, more and more demands are being made because they knew I could do the reporting structure that they wanted, and that was fine. So I thought, how am I going to keep up with all these things coming on board for the next 6 years? Well, I didn't have to worry about that. I turned 60, and lo and behold, my birthday is at the end of the year. And around October of that year, we get a mass email to those people who were affected about the RIF program, reduction in force. I was included in that because I had a number of years with the company and because of my age. I was not 62 or 66 at the time, but because both of those together qualified me, you know, you want to leave, here's your chance. So I took it, knowing that I was not going to be in a situation where I could continue to learn at the pace that they were wanting me to learn. Plus, the severance pay that was offered to the bulk of us at that time was nice. It was a good little thing. So I got riffed at the end of that year, and the first month was like a vacation. Oh, no big deal. Kick back, didn't have to get up early again, do what I wanted to do. My husband went to work. The remote was mine, so I just did whatever I wanted to do all day long. Well, it was the first 30 days. Then it was 60 days. And then 90. Then I realized it just kind of sunk in. Then this is it. This is what you're going to do from now on. And you're only 60? You've got a couple more years. What are you going to do? Right? So that then prompted me to think I got to go find something else, which I did. And luckily, I said, I don't want anything now that's stressful. Don't give me all this, stress oriented job function. I'm done with all that. Just give me something that I don't have to think. Go home, do a little job. I mean, excuse me, go to work, come home, restful. No problem. Well, it worked out okay. That was fine. But I kept thinking, why was I even wanting to be riffed, which I had even before it happened, when so many other people, they don't want that, you know? They want to just keep working, which I should have done the same thing. But once you get riffed from a job, and it's even worse once you're right before you're going to hit the retirement age, Obviously, it's worse if I would have been a lot younger. I wasn't. And as it was, I handled it okay. Thinking back now, I probably would have kept my mouth shut, thinking, I'm going to stay for another 6 years. I'll learn what I need to learn, one way or another, but I should have stayed. And then eventually, I knew they were going to have another riff, but it was like several years later. That could have gotten me over the finish line. It didn't. I took it. I'm kind of glad now that I did. So if you ever had to be laid off, not because of job performance closures or anything like that, but because of downsizing, it's a hard pill to swallow. But we do it, we get through it, and we move on. Anyway, that's my little story for the day. Hopefully, all of you are having a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay healthy. My name is Melissa, and I'll see you in the next one.